So I found this account online. It's from Michael Shore. It's Flagita on Instagram, Flagitaa. It says influencing masculinity. React to leadership, not words, because when you reward consistency with softness, the man will adjust. In other words, we're not working with a person, we're working with masculinity. I thought this was an interesting idea. Pull back when the effort does. Pull back, no drama, just mirroring the energy. Compliment the behavior. I want more of XYZ. Don't command. It's a hint. So compliment the behavior I want more of. Like, wow, that's great. I love how you do that. Say thank you rather than finally. Sarcasm shuts down, gratitude reinforces. Let silence speak when needed. Sometimes silence after disrespect lands harder than a lecture could. Ask with softness, not control. Would you mind helping me with this? It lets him step up without feeling managed. Let him make the plan, show up glowing. Men are inspired by the reward of my presence, not the pressure of my expectations. Walk away from chaos rather than reacting. My emotional regulation teaches him what kind of woman he's dealing with. Make my standards feel like inspiration, not demands. Like, I love when a man knows how to take the lead. Watch how he starts doing exactly that. Praise the part of him that leads well. You make me feel safe when you do that. He'll remember and repeat it. Leave him with a thought, not a fight. That didn't feel respectful to me. I'll let you think about it, and then exit. Radiate peace and leave when it is disturbed. Masculine men want to respect what's precious, and they don't chase. And you don't have to chase, so just remove access. Don't correct, just reflect. That surprised me. I thought you'd handle it differently. Let him feel the distance. Don't announce it. Pulling away naturally after mistreatment speaks louder than an ultimatum. Treat his effort like a privilege, not a favor. Masculinity rises when it knows it's not owed, but earned. Let him witness me being adored elsewhere, not for jealousy, but as a silent reminder that I'm in demand. Protect your energy like gold. Your standards shift his behavior more than my words ever could. Speak like it's already a standard. The kind of man I connect with usually leads with clarity. Leave when clarity's missing. Let my softness be selective. Rav Ginsburg, okay, we're switching gears here. Rav Ginsburg on Rambam, which is Maimonides, says it's forbidden to allow anyone, not a ger tashav, a resident alien, to dwell in Eretz Yisrael, but that the status cannot be conferred upon a non-Jew, except when it's in a time where they practice the Jubilee, the Yovel. And since it's not practiced now, it's actually forbidden to allow a non-Jew to remain in Israel. According to Barachos 32b and ruled by the Shulchan Aruch OC or Chaim 128:35, a Kohen, a priest, is disqualified from serving if he murdered someone. Even if he killed accidentally, hands that have committed murder are forever ineligible to bestow Berchas Kohanim upon the nation, the blessing of the priest. Because Pinchas, and then people will say, well, Pinchas was given the Kohanic privilege. He became a priest. He wasn't even born a priest. It says with him in the Torah, he did this as an act of murder for the sake of Hashem. Hashem himself promised that he will now have the Kohen position. Midrash Tanchuma says that the one who is merciful to the cruel will end up being cruel to the merciful. So that's an answer to why, you'd say like, in other words, we're learning here not to interact with what we don't want. We don't allow it into our domain. We protect the domain. And the Ramchal writes, when you stand to pray, you should rejoice. Your heart should rejoice, for you're praying to the Almighty, of whom there's none like him. For this is true joy, namely that a person's heart delights, that he merits to serve before the blessed master, of whom there's none like him, and to toil in his Torah and his mitzvahs, which are the true perfection of the eternal worth. That's actually from Mesilas Yesharim, chapter 19. Chabad.org says there are sparks that pursue us and sparks that we pursue. So sometimes the masculinity, that's the pursuer, could seem to be in the woman or in the man. Interesting, right? The Lubavitch Rebbe teaches that the 4 character traits to emulate are faith, dedication, care, and responsibility. Rav Ginsburg divides faith as in God's goodness, the Creator, in the Torah's goodness, which is concealed, his teachings to mankind, his word, in the Jewish people, that the Jews and humanity and mankind is good. I want to share from Sean Sheshan Hashmatspor. He says, how do you customize your self-confidence? You live without a set schedule sometimes. You run continuous inner check-ins. You bridge neuroscience with ancient wisdom. You say no to the fluffy love and light that doesn't welcome the parts of me that want to fight and rage and conquer. Instead, you channel it, you consciously with a kind heart, and you empower your highest self with acceptance of the darkness. You embrace all parts and integrate. You treat, let's say you're having gut pain, gut flare-ups, chronic illness pain from the psyche, and you decline the shortcuts. He gave examples of psychedelics. For everyone else, it's different. Being blunt, direct, facing challenges is actually real love. And running a service or a business as a gift, not a place to grab cash. You're doing it to help the world. When you're willing to admit you don't fully know who you are yet, and you speak to the future you like they're real, you already covered a lot of ground. And I want to share one more thing from Taylor Damiani. Actually, it's going to be two more things. So one is from Taylor Damiani: self-abandonment over time becomes self-erosion. Turning away from your own knowing and dismissing your feelings, outsourcing your power and decisions to others, overriding your own needs, and you end up losing trust with clarity because of this outward orienting. And we become trained to attune to others even in our early life and anticipate their needs, keep the peace, twist who they need me to be, twisting into who they need me to be, and losing the inner compass, the connection. But self-trust healing is when we slowly return inward, attune to the self and the inner, voice, the inside gut intuition without judging or doubting, but believing it. And I learned in an ACA meeting, which is the Adult Children of Alcoholics or Dysfunctional Families, I was learning about myself that my own schedule is acceptable. I was putting all this into work. I don't know yet why they had such anxiety that I needed to be scapegoat in my family, but I can watch the programming and the worms kind of that I've gotten out of me, that I can have less blame and manipulation, to reflect, to see, to make time to see how the light has affected me and my growth. So also like the containers, the vessels, which is community and emotions, and then the respect, the control, the security, and the pleasure and comfort that I need in my life that I didn't get, versus the non-judgmental awareness in order to stop being in denial about the ways I attached to someone to become my parent, to give me that. And then even demanding, forcing, dehumanizing, exploiting in order to avoid my own existential suffering and my sense of hopelessness, my helplessness to fix the situation. I also learned a word called self-laceration, 2 words, how the inner critic, which may have helped us to survive, but has now bubbled out of, at loved ones because it's still battling the shame and the fury and the grief from triggers. So it's trying to protect us, particularly when we might feel dismissed or invalidated, deprived, misunderstood, or forced. And then making excuses for others, emotionally abusing or violating me has caused me to be in isolation, substance use, cut off from my inner compass, my inner certainty, my connection to source. This is things that have happened. I'm not saying that it's ongoing, but we have to confront this stuff, like actually see our growth in order to make new vessels and nurture ourselves. And finally, there's this lightening stimulation, the load, the pressure that is my current aim that I was working with. And we'll stop here. I wish everybody Shavua Tov and Mavorach and all the best. Okay, bye.